Hello everyone, we have another World Cup banger coming your way. A lot of people have slated this as one of the best Overwatch World Cup games ever. So it's going to be team from China, I'll just call them Team China because I'm not going to get trademark struck here, versus Korea. And this happened in the semifinals because of the way that the bracket ended up working out. Top was very heavy, and this was an exceptional game. First of all, because both teams were just playing honest dive versus each other, and we have some of the best dive players in the history of the game playing up against each other. I'll probably do a video of Saudi Arabia versus China as well later. Like, I don't want to discredit away from that win, but overall, as much as there were four, 5 map bangers, I think this one by far takes the cake, and this is what everyone's been asking me to review. So let's just get into it and we'll talk about it. It's worth noting for this as well, I'm not just going to be talking about this matchup. I'm also going to be talking about just the World Cup overall, my general thoughts, how I felt about everything and stuff like that, while keeping an eye on the game and talking about the game. So if you did miss this one, you're in for a treat. It was a good one. So let's enjoy it. Dude, the crowd was crazy. The Chinese fans and the Saudi Arabian fans, for that matter, as well, were so passionate and loud.
The winner of Finland and Saudi Arabia. That's going to be a sick game as well.
The Finland-Saudi Arabia game was also very good, if you haven't seen that one. Like, honestly, all of the matches from the second day of World Cup were bangers. They all went the distance. They were all very close. I think it's by far the closest World Cup we've ever had. By far. Like, and it's not even close. It is crazy to see Korea did come out on this Lucio Kiriko. I was like, bro, ain't no way they came out on the 2022 playoffs comp. They're like, fuck it. Just full send back to when we were great. When are the biddings for the replay code auction? Well, I don't have a replay code as well. I'm just rewatching on YouTube. I don't know where the replay codes are. I doubt anyone even has access to them. It have to be Blizzard employees and stuff like that. I don't know if they play it on like a PBE or anything like that. So we get to see the Gushui Doom coming back out. Gushui's Doom was exceptional in this World Cup. It was very good. Dude, Monk gets 3. And I think that was really the big narrative for Team China that I think surprised a lot of people. Is I think Monk and Lynx have played very well in this tournament. I think that's why, even though you can definitely make the argument that Dive was not as strong as the Sigma compositions, it worked really well for China. Like, obviously, Shy Leave, Gushui all doing their thing, but Monk and Lynx are stepping up in a big way. Gushui heard everyone calling him a one trick and immediately became the GOAT Tank Doom. You mean the Tank 2 trick? Obviously, Gushui is primarily known as just a main tank player, but his Doomfist has been very good. Dude, how they have no right winning these fights. Like, that was the craziest thing, is like how they were just like, they won fights that just they had no right even being close to.
Also, the point flips really early. Like, the team from China gave up the point really early. They only get 19%.
Fearless drops in, great bubble. This is going to segment the team from China for a moment. Leave can't even get out of the door for the time being. They're going to rotate around.
Monk and Lynx have made Fielder and Chio sweat, yeah. Korea just had, like, some weird composition. Throughout the entire tournament, had some very weird compositions. Like, I don't like this Lucio Kiriko setup. I don't like the Doomfist at all. Like, I don't know what they were thinking they were going to play up against. Sorry, not the Doomfist, the Reaper. I don't know what they thought they were going to go up against, where the Reaper was going to make sense, but... Like, that was a primal beat overclock by Korea. That seems like a weird series of ults, but they are just winning it because the backline refuses to die. Monk's dead. Dude, Gushui's still going though. Oh my god, Fearless is 1 health. Nice. Rush is probably trying to find a way to break the Sigma comp. Yeah, but like, you know that Team China is not going to play the Sigma composition. Team China hadn't played the Sigma composition of I don't know how Chia fell there. He must have slid off of a wall into a wall that was unslidable, because you can wall ride on some of those things. I don't know how he ended up falling off there, but
We're going to see all series, and I think it's really, you know, South Korea being able to utilize
like a gentleman's agreement. No, I don't think any team does a gentleman's agreement.
opportunity to take the point back, force a fight on the point.
I think both of these teams just prefer to play dive. Like, China has played dive the entire tournament, and Korea's weakness has been playing the Sigma compositions. They don't look as strong when Hanbin in, and I think if Korea had tried to play Hanbin on the Sigma, they would have lost as well. There's no way. Korea were like the third, maybe fourth best team at the Sigma compositions, and that really was a surprising part of the World Cup, is that it didn't feel like Korea with their star-studded lineup were very good at the Sigma composition. You would think they would be better at it. Obviously, they're great at dive. We know they are. But when they played the Sigma, they kind of got beaten by, like, you know, Finland. Like, Finland pushed them every time they played.
You don't have any speed line from the team from China.
And, like,
Easier now with
Saudi Arabia, obviously, very strong team in there.
hunt these players.
Even USA, like, made it very close, right?
South Korea set themselves up on the point.
With, like, some of their Sigma compositions in the past. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. With Super In, maybe I think USA is potentially better at the Sigma compositions, but that might just be cope.
Need to be there. The South area was in play already for
Don't they play a lot of dive? Yeah. The Korean teams are always known to be playing dive.
surgically extract the healers from the team from China. A big
Yeah.
from Lee.
Leave and Shy trying to flip it back, but they can't.
To touch here, but it's Shy from the high ground. Sparkles notes his position. He's going to try and slide across the point, but he'll be taken down. Goose Ray can touch here.
I just think they were unpractical. Honestly, that's how I feel about both Korea and USA, is it did genuinely feel like neither of the teams...
Monk is down again. No one lets
Oh, good primal. It did feel like neither of those teams were very well prepared for this tournament. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel like they were comfortable in either the Sigma or the, like, dive or, like, any of those things. Like, they were good because they just had great players, but it didn't feel like they were well drilled in the way that we saw Finland and Saudi Arabia.
makes the world go around, you know?
And, you know, that could be it, Iowa, right? Like, it could just be they feel they have less to prove. They didn't prepare as much. They weren't taking the tournament as seriously. And that's fine if that's the reason as well. But, you know, it is what it is, right? And that's why it's almost good to see, like, you know, a new team win, right? Like, China, they went really far. Saudi Arabia, great to see them. Like, you could tell how much it meant to them to win the tournament. So, you know, big props to them. They obviously tried. Could be a lack of identity in those. Yeah, but you only lack that identity if you don't practice it or put the time in. Like, I also think it's, like, worth noting that, like, I think the meta for Korea, playing that where, like, Lip plays, like, the Symmetra doesn't feel good. Because I think Lip on Symmetra or Bastion isn't a good pick for him. Obviously, he tried to play a lot of the Sojourn, but people, like, started forcing away from that by playing Symmetra and stuff like that. And then Sparkle on the Mei is good, but honestly, like, some of these other Mei players play dramatically better than Sparkle on the Mei as well. So I feel like the DPS just didn't feel as comfortable in this meta.
Sparkle pick up the echo. We're going to see Lid play Trace.
Sigma comp is a low skilling comp. I wouldn't say it's a low ceiling. I think there's a lot of things that happen that there's not as much skill expression as dive, right? Like, dive is, like, I think the most complicated thing where you need a lot of individual play and pop off, right? And that's what makes, you know, China and Korea the best at those compositions. But I think there's a lot of nuance to the Sigma comps that people don't give it credit for, but I agree that, like, there isn't as much.
Going to get hit with all those sticky bombs. It's a little bit dangerous, but they find Fearless, and the focusing beam is not enough to bring Gooseway down. Now Shy looks to turn his attention to these backliners, but later a Monk it down.
Damn, they just couldn't kill anyone in Korea.
Again, they turn a short-handed fight into an overwhelming victory.
Busan's really scary because of how dynamic it is. It really is, right? Like, there's so many different point types that change the way it works.
Is first Shy with a nice rail gun shot, and it doesn't matter. I mean, Field are able to keep everybody top.
Yo, Cobwebby, thank you very much for the fresh sub.
Pocket Shio and let him just go swing into the face.
All right,
Team from China, that has got to knock the wind out.
let's get back to focusing on this game. We're sort of talking about a lot of overarching things. Oh my god, Shy almost dies to those sticky bombs from Sparkle.
The really difficult thing for the team from China is there's
I wish we had a replay code so I could watch things that, oh, wouldn't usually see. Lip gets Gooshway.
It's going to ruin, you know, any type of push.
To sleep on the Shy? Oh yeah, good punish as well.
Like, what do they do, right? Gushue, historically, it's been, you know, Winston, Doom, Rhine, right? Ball.
So Lip and Leave are premier hyperflex. Yeah, I think Lip's biggest strength comes that he is a world-class hit scan, plus he can play Tracer and stuff like that. He definitely has weaknesses on certain heroes, as I sort of talked about, but...
Gushue to make sure that that pulse bomb was lethal.
It's Leave trying to get a touch.
You hear those footsteps, the pitter-patter is Lip is attending. Gets a heal pack now, so Leave is definitely disadvantaged in this fight. And elsewhere, the back
Oh, wow, Monk just...
Big Jordan quartered. Leave gets picked off. He was on the point now. The team
It's just a dive from Sparkle and Fearless.
Sparkle duped.
They didn't even use the nano. That's a kind of crazy dive. I wish we could have seen how Monk dies to that. I wonder if Sparkle goes in, duplicates the Ana, gets the Biotic Grenade. It's probably what happened.
To win the series, it's really been
Actually, one second. I want to go back and see that. Oop.
line is.
I want to go see that. I think that's probably what happened, right? Yeah. So Sparkle goes in. You can see it. We can't see it on the screen, but you see Sparkle duplicates the Ana, throws the nade, hits Monk, and links her, and that gives Fearless the Great. Like, that's just a good dive by Korea.
Now the dive from South Korea just taking advantage of the team from China backline.
Fearless stands the shield, so he didn't get hit with a Biotic Grenade there, Matt. He can stick around.
I should get one of those draw on things. I was watching a sideshow stream recently, actually, and he has one of those things where you can draw on the screen. Maybe I should get one of those
He does manage to get
for VOD reviews in the future.
It's Monk to fall.
Sparkle gets Monk again. Fearless Primal Shy off the map. It's just, dude, this has just not been a close round.
To try and defend his prone body.
Epic pen.
South Korea
It's free. Epic pen. I'm writing that down.
that has hoisted trophies before.
Epic pen. Please ignore.
That, my friends, is a stopgap.
And I'm just really
Woo! That was a quick 2-0 by Korea.
responds, right? They just kind of, you know, walk
How long would it take for you to draw a dick on screen? Well, have you guys seen the memes that my signature looks like a dick? The way I do it, if you do it in a certain way, it looks like a penis.
here against teams. They've been like, right, to cover some of the other roles.
Which, you know, I really got to think. I really got to avoid. GG, South Korea wins 3-0. Yeah, South Korea are definitely the better team than China. This game's over. Wrap it up.
Even Gushue are enough to just kill the backline right away.
How long is Sparkle going to have braces for? Oh my god. I don't know. You know, like, I had braces for a really long time when I was a kid as well. Like, obviously, he's older, but it takes a long time for your teeth to fix.
Discussion on the desk about these dynamic DPS duels.
Yeah, they can be for a really long time. I think it's probably harder the older you are as well, right?
But what we've seen
So, good on him for getting it done, you know. It's a good opportunity.
hold positionally, we are in a very similar
All right, heading over to Powder ESO. Both teams going to stick with the dive. Sparkle on the Tracer, Leave on the Echo. I do like the Echo more on this map.
We were getting in the car, we were going to the
It can be difficult to play the game against certain things, though. So we'll see how Leave does on this.
some consistent. Fearless copy a bit of poke here on this high ground. I think Lee
I need to look at my out cards. Actually, pause. You guys want to see something cool that someone gave me? You guys can't see it very well, and I can't get it too close because otherwise it's not going to zoom. But who's that, Pokemans? It's Jimmy. It's your boy Jimmy. I miss you. In his Chengdu Hunters jersey, he looks so handsome.
put some pressure on Lip, but guess who's there? Sparkle. Keeping track of it.
Put your hand behind it, Megan. No, my camera doesn't have autofocus. It's a long story, but it doesn't have autofocus.
Connect with the most important player behind
Now the question is, does he fuck? Only in my dreams.
follow-up.
Yeah, you're going to have to back up here if you're South Korea. And
Oh, dude, I don't like the positioning of Field of Cheer there. I don't like playing in that corner because I feel like that exactly happens is you can't go anywhere. You end up getting caught in this situation where you're stuck in that corner, and like if you get stuck here, you can't make this run to safety, and you don't want to drop because they can just follow you in there, so you just kind of die.
It was definitely a situation where
Wait, what? Wait, what? What do you guys? Huh?
tempo.
What?
Because they're designated as defenders here, they really need Lip to have some output early in these fights. They can't necessarily make these risky dives off the safe high ground like they could on Busan.
and it's really not, I mean, we really didn't get anything from Lip there in that first fight, right? It is the team from China taking point A with relative ease. And, look, that could be one thing that if you're the team from China, you realize, like, hey, maybe the weak link here to, like, put pressure on is Lip.
This is really the hard point to capture. This second point is a fucking nightmare. Good biotic grenade by Monk. I don't know how you hit Lip and Cheer with that, probably in a small room. He's asleep on the Brig as well. I'm surprised they didn't nano Gushue in there. I feel like that would have been a pretty effective nano if they nano Gushue.
The Winston got slept inside that room.
What do you think of the Lip wash narrative? I think the Lip wash narrative comes from the idea that people have like exceptional expectations of
Connecting with Lee, and he's
Lip. I think Lip was great this tournament. Like I think especially on the Sojin, Lip was really good.
gonna
People seem to only remember his low points. I definitely don't think he's been like MVP all the time, 100% of the time, but... And he's definitely the best at Sombra, but he's still a good hit scan player.
This isn't really a great, like, Tracer map necessarily, right? Like, the verticality, a lot of, like, verticality. And Tracer is usually the answer to a lot of, like, strong echo-based composition.
This is such a hard fight for Korea to take. They have a lot of defensive tools to get in, at least. If China does a good job of forcing these ultimates out and then backing up, they'll be in a good spot. Shy overclocks. Oh, good sleep on a Sparkle. Korea used a lot of their ultimates. Yeah, you can see China just back up. They use their rally later. Guxue's still holding on to this Primal Rage. Now he can go aggressive, and now that Korea don't have as many ultimates up. But it's still too much. With Shy falling, they lose the damage. Doesn't matter what Guxue does. He's just going to take too much damage. No way Lip lives through that. There's no way Lip lives through that. Yeah, thank you. Ooh, nice kill by Monk on the Lip. But it shouldn't change much. I do personally think Lip played better overall when he was on Shanghai. But I also think that that's easy to say because that Shanghai team was omega stacked for that for that year. Like, that team was so good. Of course he's going to look exceptional. He's one of the best players on the best team in the league, right? I think Atlanta, he looked like that when Atlanta were even, but as soon as, like, the meta went bad for them, like, it becomes a lot harder to have that same level of performance for Lip.
This is the first stop we've seen all map by South Korea. It comes at a pivotal moment too. If they can
well, Atlanta was stacked, and they were good until the tournament, until the meta moved away from them, right? Like, it genuinely looked like Atlanta fucked up the meta, like the prep and the scrims going into the final. Like, you could tell that they didn't feel comfortable. There were rumors that they were trying to sign a Zaya player all the way through to the end. Like, they were trying to look at tanks. It just felt like they were never comfortable in that meta, and it showed on the stage.
I mean, he would have probably lived all on through that if he doesn't get hit with a bio there at the end. I mean,
on that part of the map, the team from China have to play from the low ground. That's why Shy is sat there as Fearless just dives on him. I think they're trying to remediate that now by pressuring up towards his left side.
Okay. Dude, this is so hard to attack. As the attacking teams, look, you have the backline set up in proper position. Look at that, the Chinese team, backline has to, like, walk up through the low ground. Fearless can literally... Oh, he fucked up his jump. He's going to have to primal early because of that. He should be able to work it out. So, oh, someone woke him up. Shy's dead. Like, Fearless can just do whatever he wants in this situation. He can go in when he wants to. He can go out when he wants to. Guxue doesn't have primal yet. Fearless versus Guxue on match, yeah. Fearless versus Guxue, Winston Mirror, like, that's just a treat. These are literally the two best Winstons in the world. Like, obviously, I'm sure some people in the YouTube comments can be like, Smurf exists? Thank you very much. But, you know, obviously Smurf would be in the running as well, but definitely up there with two of the best. Oh, that was actually such a bad miss. Let's talk about how bad this duplicate was. First, fucks up the disruptor shot, then tries to slide over a roof that's unslidable on. Like, that was actually the worst duplicate of all time. And I actually think this ends up costing the Korean team, right? Like, he ends up helping get leave, but they weren't able to, like, put pressure on. Fearless tries to overcompensate. He ends up falling to the Shy overclock. Sparkle only gets one for the ultimate, you know, paired with somebody else. Like, I think that actually had, like, big implications missing both of those things. Zones himself out of the fight, yeah, and that's just a window for China to capitalize. Pelican greater than Sparkle this year? Yeah, I agree. I think, like, I understand Dallas fans think I hate them, and people think I hate Sparkle because of that one D-tier Tracer thing, but I think Sparkle's been an exceptional player, but this has probably been the worst year that Sparkle's ever had in the Overwatch League. Probably the same can be said for a lot of these Dallas players, but because, like, Sparkle was great on the Eternal, and then obviously for the Dallas Fuel those 2 years, but this year he just hasn't shown up in the same way that we like know him for. Even when he's been on some of his signature heroes, like he's been good, but he hasn't just been that dominant force we know him for. Definitely a hater. Yeah, and I think that does raise the issue of like these teams were chosen so long ago, right? Like, I think if you watched the Overwatch League season and you came out of it, this is not the Korean roster you would have chosen. Like, someone 1 billion% would have been on this roster. Regardless of how good Fearless and Harbin is, someone would have been on this roster. I think Pelican would have been on this roster. I could even see a world where Checkmate's on this roster, right? Lee Brig Pog, yo, the good old duplicate double Brig setup. Choice of One, I think Choice of One's a hard one to say. Like, Choice of One didn't even really play this year because of the way it worked. I would take Merit over Lip. I think Lip has a lot more flexibility than Merit. Like, Merit is a better hit scan than Lip, I would say, this year, which is a kind of big praise, but I think Lip has the fact that he can play like a lot of other things. Yeah, if they had someone sing, like, you can't tell me if they didn't have, dude, Sparkle does such a good job here. Actually, pause on this conversation. Look at this. So actually, I do want to talk about this because I actually hit this. I talked about this a lot on the co-stream. So Fearless goes in. So Korea on the defense, right? They get leave. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. This is a perfect opportunity to go in. If you clear out the rest of Team China, then you win the map. I like the idea of them going in this room. This is a huge mistake from, I believe it's Sparkle. Sparkle goes in with 96% ult charge, thinking he's going to get the duplicate and go aggressive. He goes way too far ahead of Fearless, who needs to be the one in. They're almost at Rally, Nano, Duplicate, and Overclock, right? This should be, theoretically, an unlosable fight. 5v4, you're about to have 4 ultimates online. Sparkle goes way too fucking early. Chio and Lip try and go in to follow him, pop the Overclock, Nano, and the Rally, but they're in a small room. Fucking Nano Overclock is very difficult to get value. They try and go too deep. They end up trading like 1-for-1, going back and forth, which isn't good considering the ultimates and the advantage they have. And then China just gets value. Sparkle comes back and actually pops the fuck off on the duplicated Ana. Gets 2. I think he gets 3, right? No, he gets 2, and he does a lot of work, but at this point, the damage is done, right? Like, we're in overtime, so spawns are super long, and Shai's just fucking... This was, like, in my opinion, one of the biggest examples of, like, this is not the South Korea that we expect, or the performance that we expect, and that's just a team play thing, of, like, team play synergy and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's just a huge fumble from Korea that is unprecedented for the players that we expect out of here. And yeah, so that ends up leaving China to end up capping out the map. So that's, once again, also worth noting, and this shouldn't be me bragging on Sparkle. Remember, the exact same thing happened on the second point. Sparkle uses the Sojin duplicate, completely whiffed all his abilities, and then didn't provide enough value with the ultimate that needed to get something and enable the dive, and then China ends up capitalizing, right? Obviously, there's a lot more other elements that are going wrong, but like those are 2 pretty big mistakes. Monk having a star performance, yeah, but you know, I give Monk and Lexer a lot of props coming into the tournament. And going back to the someone conversation, right? Like, if someone had been on this roster playing Sigma, dude, Korea would have played the Sigma composition the whole way through. And obviously, someone knows how to lead, first of all, as a lead from the front as a tank. So he was popping the fuck off doing that. And then you have. And then he can play Sigma at the highest level. They just won the Overwatch League playing that composition. They would have been so good. Like, they could just mirror the Sigma versus any of the other teams and they'd probably just win. Like, I think you put someone in the tank and you put either like a Pelican or a Checkmate just for the synergy and like obviously the understanding with Lip, Field, or Chio, I think they win. I think Korea wins. But that's what happens when you have the rosters decided so early in the season, right?
He wants to like counter dive, right? And as soon as Fearless
And yeah, someone could switch to the Reinhardt. Like, we saw someone do a lot of Reinhardt swaps against the Sigma, if that was ever a problem. We didn't see anybody do that. We saw Australia try and do it versus Great Britain, and it didn't work. But that's hard to know if that's just like a team mismatch or what, if the composition doesn't actually work that way. Why'd they have to decide the roster early? Because their qualifiers happened very early on in the season. It's fucking chaos right now. There's some good staggers for Korea. They can just wait for their spawners. Felix gets primal. That was a smart early rally by Lengsa. Not fucking around. Spark gets left on the point. Good Fearless bubble. Oh, Leave gets lip. That's such a big pick. Wow, how does Gio not die that?
Long-lasting one, but it was worthwhile. Duplicates the Ana, gets a bio onto Lip in midair. Lip actually lands the rail.
There only a minute remaining. This Korea attack has been it just kind of feels chaotic, right? And I think that's like the TLDR of this entire Korean con. It just doesn't really feel like it has the same synergy that like you would expect from a team that literally won the 2022 championship together. Obviously different meta and different composition, but you'd think they would have a little bit more, but it just doesn't feel like it. Oh, good shots by Lip. He should have been able to kill that Ana though. No, we haven't missed the Fearless. I'm waiting for it. The bubble on the Ana nade. I want to hit that as well. Nano Fearless in just to make sure you put the nail in the coffin. Fearless in a small room with the Nano. Pretty good. SK's best strategy was Lip go kill, which is worrying because people said, you know, like people are like blaming Lip that they didn't win. But I feel like Lip did have some of the biggest pop-offs. I think Fearless and Lip were the best players on this team throughout the World Cup.
Okay, this is interesting. Dropping the Sojourn now. So you want to keep on the Echo. The Echo could put pressure on Shy, but then also have a Lip now on the Tracer. Where I kind of like this because I didn't think Lip was getting a ton of value on the Sojourn.
So now all of a sudden it's Korea's turn to try and break this second point hold. You see Lip's tweet after the World Cup? No, what did he say? I actually missed that. Probably wasn't happy with his own performance, right? He seems like the kind of guy that would hold himself at a very high standard. Like always, people forget Gio. I think Gio was fine. I just don't think I noticed him anywhere near as much as we saw in the past.
Yeah, I think you just have to wait a little bit for Sparkle to come back. You gotta get some spaces.
He said, GG's feeling sorry I can't do anymore. Wait, that wasn't after the tournament? Because Korea loses to China to get knocked out. So was that before? Was that in their last matchup? Shy just murders Sparkle before they can even get in. And that's so frustrating to deal with. Like, that's what makes Paraiso in general one of the most frustrating maps. Is like, what do you do as like a player? Your teammate, you just walk in, they have the high ground, and they just get absolutely destroyed. I think they need to fix this map. I'm just gonna go a quick rant. They need to make this room more accessible. I think there needs to be a pathway up to get into this room. Because right now, the only way you can get onto this high ground is to go up this like small choke in this small room that's just so dangerous. So it's either walk through the low ground death trap or walk through this tiny ass fucking choke. And I think it could be fixed if they give accessibility to the attacking team in this room. Because that would force the defensive team to actually have to defend the room. But they don't really have to, right? Leave can just sit here with the Brig, and they don't have to have the threat that the rest of the team could be showing up. Oh! Sick stick on the Shy. Yo, chat, watch this. Oh, wait, no, it's not what I'm thinking of. Yeah, chat, watch this. Watch it. Watch Fearless here. We're gonna go to 0.25. Watch this moment. Fearless sees leave and Gushue diving his backline. Obviously, he has good positioning here. He recognized the dive is incoming. They're in a 5v4. They just need to live through the dive. Fearless jumps in, sees the duplicated Ana, gets on top of him, isn't under any pressure, doesn't have to drop his bubble, but he sees Leave doing the Ana duplicate biotic grenade trick. Drops the bubble at the perfect time. Leaves biotic grenade, doesn't hit the backline in which Gushue is currently pressuring. He catches it inside the bubble, and that enables his backline to stay alive. So all of a sudden, Leave doesn't get anything done with this Ana duplicate, doesn't get any value. The dive can stay healthy because they can heal each other. Fucking even Sparkle duplicates the Ana. Insane brain, dude. He's just so wrinkly. And they still lose the fucking fight. That's how hard this is. Like, they get a kill off the bat. They kill the Lip Sojourn. But they can't do anything. The Lynx are rallying the Gushue Primal is just too much.
Gushue with that Primal just knocks him all the way into the middle of nowhere as South Korea last attempt here. No ultimates to work with. The team from China in a perfect spot to tie it up.
Add oil. It's actually so funny to me that that's what the chant Jayo. It's Jayo, right? It means add oil.
He's going to jump away. Overtime maintained here for South Korea as Shy is ready to let this overclock glow. Fearless has no choice but to hang on the card. Stickies take Shy low. No follow-up though from Sparkle. He's playing from a respectful.
Oh my god, that was disrespectful by Shy. That was straight up disrespectful what he did to Sparkle. He just went and just said, you die now. And also just confidence that you're going to hit the shot. And yeah, Korea, this was not a good map by Korea. I think there was a lot of mistakes made. Held on the second. They barely even got through the first. Like, Team China definitely looking stronger in that point. All right. Let's move up. Game Sports. Dude, I wish we got replay codes for all this stuff. Whatever Overwatch Esports comes next, I hope it becomes standardized that replay codes get released for matches.
This is such a Sparkle classic.
All right, now we go back over. Korea goes back to the 2022 playoffs comp. I guess it worked for them in the first map. Not really. Like, they instantly swapped off the Reaper, so I don't really understand why they went the Reaper, but... Why is that not a thing? In general, it's because like Blizzard have hosted the tournaments. They run on a tournament realm, and they've just never prioritized doing it. And before, they used to have a replay viewer. Oh, they just died. They used to have a replay viewer, which used to be updated, so that solved the problem in its own right. But then when the replay viewer became defunct and replay codes became a thing, that seems like an easy transition, but just something that isn't done. I guess maybe I can try and push for that more, at least behind the scenes. I just really hate the Reaper. Like, what does the Reaper accomplish in this composition, right? Like, obviously, in 2022, this was a composition where you just play as a rush and, like, on your team. But, like, that doesn't work when the opposition team has, like, a very defensible setup with, like, Shy on the high ground, Monk Lengths to be able to stand in the back. Like, I just don't think it works anywhere near as well as it did in that one meta that one time long ago. Like, as soon as he has to use the Wraith, he's useless for the next, like, what is it, 10 seconds?
What is South Korea looking for? A dive target, ideally. Fielder playing a loose end here. Poking down at Gushue, but this won't be nearly enough to cause problems for the Winston from the team from China. And here's that dive. Shy very low. They get the
Fearless gets Shy. That was a good dive.
You can't count on those, but when you
didn't really feel like China really put enough pressure to, like, dissuade that dive. They just kind of fell over when it came, so... But that was a good dive by Korea.
Connections there. We know.
All right.
You know, this is a player.
Now lots of ultimates are coming online. China, they're going to have 5. Korea's going to have 4 because Sparkle's playing Reaper.
It's just seeing it, you know, here and right there, that first, you know, real
Gaming King Striker asking the hard-hitting questions.
Those 2 shots puts Korea in control of the point.
The most important cooldown here, Matt, is the Sojourn slide. That's what South Korea are looking for. They want to try to find a way to force it out. Or to see Shy reposition before going in. Here they go. Kitsune Rush going to send them in. They see Monk, but they think better of it. It's going to be Liv going down first in this fight.
I think Rush can coach players that aren't just like rush players, right? Like they've done it in the past. Obviously, that's the bread and butter and the strength. But oh, Chia gets Monk. Oh.
Tremendous job of keeping Shy alive.
There you go. Okay, first cap goes over to China. Sparkle's getting to his ultimate real soon. Fielder goes Moira for a second. Oh, maybe just switching heroes. Sai's just so good. Yeah, Shy is very good at hit scan. No one can doubt that. No Lucio, but still outmaneuvering. Well, the thing is, China doesn't have to outmaneuver. They just need to play the thing. The problem with Korea's composition is that they have to go. If they do not go in, Sparkle is literally useless because he doesn't provide any flanking pressure. Like, you know, you can see Leave. Like, we can see Leave over here. Oh, wait, well, no anymore. You can see Leave over here. He's playing, like, flanking tracer. He's applying pressure, and he's doing all that kind of stuff. Brig can pack people. Lucio only has AoE healing. Like, this Korea composition has to go. So that enables China the ability to outmaneuver just by... And this has sort of been the way I've been describing it a lot recently, is absorbing the pressure, right? All China has to do is absorb the pressure, force a dive, absorb the pressure, and then go. And this is why I don't like this dive by Guxue, right? Like, Guxue goes in to try and stop the cap, it feels like, and force an engage, but he just gets blown up. He dives into a Reaper, dives into all the pressure from Korea. Lip just pops the overclock and murders him, and then he goes for the world tour and just dies for it. The more on this map is actually to get you to the front of the spawn faster because you spawn in the back, so you go to Moira Fade. Oh, so it's like a mini tech. It's an interesting idea. Just speed up your ability to get to the front of the room with the Fade. Feels probably unnecessary in a lot of regards, but I guess that's what makes them the 1% and the best in the world. Yeah, that's a good Death Blossom. You know, special move from the Death Blossom. And this is how Korea needs to play, right? Like, you see them just waiting for their moment and going. And I think they punished the Chinese aggression really well.
Then you get the Death Blossom going, right? There's no stun on the other side of things, right? It doesn't seem like Linksa has a...
I'm dealing with Jake's new K-pop fans. Dude, Jake's the new K-pop wonder. Dude, we're going to talk about this on the YouTube video. Did you see Jake's thirst trap on fucking Twitter? Bro, Jake, let's just chill. All right, let's just chill. You're making us look bad, okay? You're making us look bad. I can't even do one pull-up, and my man's adding 65 pounds or kilos. Jake's like, how do I get the K-pop fans to like me more? What if I just post the games? Fucking genius, bro. He makes Overwatch players look good, yeah. Them back muscles. I actually think as a purely heterosexual male, back muscles on men are the most attractive thing in the world. I don't know. That's just me. Like, every time I see a guy with big back muscles, I'm like, okay, I see you. No, not more attractive than my wife. Of course not. But hey, I can admire. Hey, if he's gonna post a thirst trap, I'm allowed to admire. Okay, them's the rules of posting thirst traps on Twitter. All right, back to Overwatch. Sorry, we got distracted by K-pop. And that's once again, the Korea have to go, right? They have to go with their composition, and they end up getting punished. This time, China's able to like see it coming, able to deal with it. Yeah, Sparkle going over to the Tracer. Now all of a sudden it's like, do we need to play Lucio Kiriko here? I like the Guxue Doomfist swap as well. I think it allows him to like, there's not a lot of damage on Korea, and if they're not going to play the Brig, then I think the Doomfist kind of just gets around for free. I don't think Kiriko or Lucio are a very good deal with Doomfist at all. So I love this adaptation from Guxue.
Yeah, it looks like maybe just took some damage going across there. Oh, this is ugly. Hit Sparkle and then just gets picked off by the Ana.
And now Fielder goes Ana. No, it goes over to the Moira for the speed to get to the front, actually. What is this? It's a nasty Bionade. Oh, he just got That was just unfortunate for Spark. He just took so much damage.
Take those shots if you can. You never know who else is doing damage at the same time. All right, 90% and counting here for the team from China. This is a real break point on Surabasa. And from the back line,
He sends Meow. Lip goes in. That's solid. Look at how far back he is when he pops that overclock. Another fucked up disruptor shot. Yo, walls are the bane of Korea's existence right now.
does not get picked off early here. Leave almost does just that. Chio's in trouble.
Now it seems like it's go time though, right? Gushui, he's gonna have the meteor strike, you have the duplicate here as well.
They still have Nano, the team from China. They have all this defensive utility.
Look at that dive by Lee. Goes over the wall, follows up with the Gushui Doomfit. Like, look at how good this dive is, right? This is what makes them great. Leave goes slowly over the wall, coordinates it with Gushui's aggression with the Meteor Strike, pops the Meteor Strike, Leave dives with the sticky bombs, duplicates the Ana, the Meteor Strike lands, and it just rips apart the backline, right? Like, that is clean gameplay, right? That's coordination that, like, makes China the best team in the world, right? It was expensive, but it was worth it, right? Like, it cost only... Actually, it wasn't even that expensive. It just cost the duplicate and the Doomfist ultimate. Korea just falls down.
South Korea ended up taking us here, and team from China, they have done tremendous job. We talked about that backline. Maybe it's different. Does not look like that now. As
Gushui generates also fast. Yeah, because if you watch Gushui of how he does things, he's just on a cycle of he's going in with the seismic slam, hits the AoE. You get like between 5 to 10% ult charge every time you hit, depending on the number of people you hit, and he just charges it. And then he doesn't really even overcommit that much outside of when he has that Meteor Strike as well, because it's a get out of jail free card that allows you to go purely aggressive into the backline. So Shy has the ultimate. They do like the nano overclock here. Fearless has gets nano though. He's going to get the primal in this. He's actually going to counter dive on the Shy overclock. Oh, Lip shouldn't have jumped there, but it's fine. Good play by Shy to back up. This has been a great fight for China. For so many ults. They took away the aggression of the nano and the primal from Fearless and got out the rally. And they had positioning, so they're already getting percentage up. Gushui does eventually fall though, which is pretty bad. And Lex is dead. Alright, that will be a flip coming out from Korea. Well played.
Actually pretty good trades from the team from China. They end up using a nano on a Shy, which we've seen a few times here throughout the week, and he gets into the back line, puts down some shots, what happens, they end up having to use like nano and rally.
Sully LJ, thank you for the 8 months. Would perfect Doom comp beat a perfect Sigma or Winston comp? No, I think the Sigma composition is better than the dive. I think Sigma overall is a better composition, and the only reason China even got close is because of how good they are at dive, right? But I don't think, in general, the dive will win against the... if both teams are considered perfectly equal in skill, I think the Sigma composition will win most of the time. And that's why I think Finland and Saudi Arabia were so good in this tournament, is that they were the best teams at that composition at the tournament, and that's why they got ahead. You know, like... And this, I don't want this to be taken out of context as me discrediting KSA or Finland's performance. Is like, they don't have... neither of those teams have as much flexibility to be able to play the dive and all these other compositions across the board as I would say China or Korea, right? But push comes to shove, at the right time, at the right tournament, they are here. And I also think something that is really cool about World Cup in general, and what we saw from Finland and KSA, is on certain heroes, those players were better than all of their counterparts. Like, I think Cloud May was very, very fucking good. I think the Vestola Sigma was a huge redemption arc for him. Like, his Sigma, he went toe-to-toe with Hanbin, probably diffed Hanbin in a meta with Sigma where Hanbin's considered one of the best, right? Like, that's an awesome thing to be able to see, so... But at the end of the day, right, that's what happened. It did feel like, you know, USA and Korea came in a little complacent, probably confident in themselves that they could go toe-to-toe, and Finland and Saudi Arabia, they just wanted it more. And you could tell they were well-drilled, they were exceptional in the compositions, and they popped off. So hopefully we get to see more representation come out of the European region, because it feels like the way that the Overwatch League, also this fight is crazy, the way that the Overwatch League has functioned is that it has not been friendly to European players overall. So hopefully, with whatever comes to Overwatch Esports next, there's more investment and more players and teams coming out of that region because obviously they can compete with, you know, Chinese and Korean teams.
To their backline now, realizing how pivotal the brig is. Stick isn't there for lead. So he backs out now.
Yeah, the Calalari was nutty as well. Oh, wow. How does that even happen? How does Lip just rip Shy's head off?
Cannot ask for much more than that from Lip, and we have been.
And that's one of the things. Like, Lip was really good in it. Like, Lip got early picks a lot.
We'll hold it as Gushway's not under any pressure right now. And South
I think USA lost his powers because half their team got dropped 4 out. I have no idea. Like, it's really hard to know what went wrong with Team USA.
great timing there from Monk to keep him up, and he gets Chio.
But at the end of the day, USA also lost to China. Like, let's not forget, right? They lost to Saudi Arabia, who took #1 seed out of their group, which then forced them to play China, who was the team that came second, right? So they literally lost to first and second. So as much as it's like they went out so early, they also lost to the best teams. Yeah, they weren't particularly close, but they did.
We went all the way to 5 flash points.
What's up, CB? EMEC was insanely stacked, yeah.
Finally,
Super said that, yeah, I think in their match against China, they just didn't play well as well, right?
was able to generate these fight-winning
All right, China getting Flashpoint.
Lip Sombra
Let's move over to Esperanza.
featured Sombra really heavily during the Sombra Tracer Winston dive metagame. You probably don't go back there now. Sombra not quite the same hero that she was.
No, we haven't really seen her at all since the rework. I think it kind of,
Her role has changed, I feel.
yeah, the way teams used to kind of play around her is now
US dropped some of the biggest balls I've seen in that match, yeah. But shit like that happens, right? Like,
get back.
I think China played really well, and I think, you know, China's a hard team to practice against. Like, they probably knew it was coming, but they just didn't know how to deal with it.
Tracer Sojourn
Is Esperanza the perfect dive map? It's probably the best dive map, right? Because of, especially in this style, because you can play your Ana Brig on high grounds and very defensive, while you can allow the other 3 players in your team to move around. So it's like there's a lot of good flanks where the backline can help. So I think it is a very good dive map overall.
Seen a little less of that this series, but that's also a fearsome prospect. If I'm getting a glancing blow there on Shy, that matchup will headline this map, as this high ground control is where Sojourn shines.
Yeah, so it'll be South Korea gets control of the bot first, right? Just a little bit of cart progress.
Lip said a while ago, this is the best one. That's because there's a lot of great megas to play around and like a lot of great offlane angles and routes. So
Bionate attempted there.
has a lot of things working in its favor.
Gushway nothing to really follow up on here, so once the disruptor shot comes down to cover his retreat, he jumps out.
The bot getting quite confused, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And
It's like me with ice cream flavors, it's fine. He'll figure it out. Get them both.
yeah, I was gonna say that's your usual.
Get them both. Oh yeah, you know my stories. You know my stories. Yeah, I ate a pint of ice cream with a toothbrush once because I didn't have a spoon and I really wanted it. I was in China.
Axelman with the 15K hot take. Yeah, not accepting criticism. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Here on the periphery,
Fair and base. USA, give them the bronze medal.
here. These ones
Dude, the bronze medal match was actually sick, by the way.
Yeah, I was not seeing enough movement out there. The start of the game. It's we got Fielder now with a
It was crazy to see how good that bronze medal match was as well. Like, I'm usually not a big third place person, but I actually liked it for the Overwatch World Cup because I think there's like a lot of like pride there, and I think the match was great. So it was cool to see. It was cool to see Finland win that.
my god. Lee from the high ground has a pulse bomb here.
SK losing to Finland got to be the biggest fall loss of all time. I think it just goes back to what we were talking about, where I think Finland were the best Sigma team.
That might be an important factor here.
I think they were the second best Sigma team in this tournament, and I think they used that to their advantage.
Stopped here. Lip. Okay, a little bit of aggression here. Movement, as Matt put it. After I put it. Sparkle's able to find another pulse here. Sparkle's opening up both these last couple of fights. Oh, and Lip.
Yeah, and people act like Korea like hard fell off. They went to map 5 with both China and Finland, right? Like it's not like they got stomped by anyone. They definitely weren't flawless, and they were definitely worse than some of us give us credit for. But it wasn't Team USA, right? They got 2-0'd by Saudi Arabia and got 3-0'd by China. It was a 3-0 against USA, right?
Now there's going to be a rally in play. Fielder should
And I definitely think that it was more of a failure for Team USA than it was for Korea, for sure.
So they're going to go for Shy. All the eggs in that basket now. Now
Were USA and Korea just not prepared? I just think it wasn't a good tournament for them, like the meta and stuff. I think it should have been better for USA, but it's hard to really know what went wrong.
on the way out. As Chio has to shield back sheepishly back to his side of the fence.
Yeah, Fearless always living on an edge, right? As he's into the back line. like you mentioned, really weak, had to use the primal.
Damn, I'm surprised the backline got out for Korea there.
To be able to kind of live through that nano overclock that comes on through.
Bridge control here for the team from China. You've got to get this back if you're South Korea. Sparkle is right in the background, but he's waiting, I think, on a health pack respawn. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. I blame the weather. Yeah, the weather wasn't really feeling good for USA. I think it really hurt them playing it in America. I think having the home field advantage really hurt America.
Another convincing fight win for South Korea.
The team from China really has not gotten anything going here on Esperanza. As I really think Lip has come a lot. Like, we are seeing him start to pick it up.
These DPS head-to-heads,
it might be...
I feel like US meta excuses. Well, I don't think it's an excuse. I think it's just the point of it, right? I just don't think USA were good. Like, that doesn't mean that they didn't deserve to not come where they finished, right? Which was like 5th to 8th. But I think that's the reality of it, is I think there are definitely certain other metas that would have been better for them in certain situations, right? Like, explanation doesn't equal excuse. That's a good way to put it, right? Oh my god, Sparkle. It's crazy because I feel like Korea goes from, like, you watch them sometimes, you're like, man, they're just not hidden. And then every now and then fucking Lip and Sparkle just like, yo, hold my beer. As Lip also murders Leave, like.
Yeah, the team from China, they have not been able to get anything. It's going to be primal. They want to continue to fight.
This is a winnable fight. Gushui, backhands filter on the way through. Now there's no healers available.
Gushui's doing a good job of bringing this back. Dude, the juggle's so fucking good. Holy shit. And gets out as well. Fucking sits on Sparkle. Oh, if he hit that, that would have been sick.
That's awkward. They end up pulling out that fight in the end. That is huge, right? You lose that, the barrier may be up to like 80 plus meters.
Primal Blade. Do you agree that Leave fed a lot on the final? Yeah. I think the Genji... you could see China went in with a plan that was Leave play the Genji. And I don't think you can criticize it so much because Leave fucking farmed versus Team USA playing the Genji and the Echo stuff against Team USA. But something about what Saudi Arabia was doing, Leave did not have good value. He was getting value from Blade very infrequently. He was getting picked first like a lot in that match. Like, I think it's just a bad match for Leave. I think if Leave shows up in that match, 100% China wins. But that's... I don't think Leave doesn't show up because he just had a bad day. I think Leave didn't show up because Saudi Arabia put the pressure on and punished him for his mistakes. Which is impressive, right?
He can't use an overclock and kill 3 of us.
Yeah, he was probably tired, right? Like, he probably was just tired, you know? So it's a long weekend, right? Here they have to travel, they have a lot going on. Like, it is what it is. But everyone's dealing with that as well, so... Like, Saudi Arabia had to do the same thing. Like, there's no excuse that, oh, this team had to play a map 5 and this team didn't. Both of them had to go the distance. That's a very early dive by Fearless.
Fearless doesn't want to hang around. They've lost Sparkle in the backline. Finally, Shy gets some action here. And we're off to the races now for the team from China. Fearless hoping to make some use of the end of that Primal Rage and does get Monk, but Chio pushes up to try and support Fearless. And that exposes him to Leave, who might be a little irate at this point.
Yes, I mean, Shy actually got hit with a Primal.
All right, not bad. And because of that early pick by Shy as well, China didn't have to use a single ultimate to win that. Like, just the pick sort of like offsets the ultimate differential. So now let's see how they use this old advantage, because they're getting close to 5. We had Krusty Kelly's career. I thought that was just a meme that Krusty and 9K were coaching South KSA. I thought there was no evidence that pointed to that. I don't know. I've seen like back and forth, and I've heard so many different stories. I think we all know Kelix and Kariv were doing it because like they've worked with these guys in the past, and I absolutely know Kariv was there. Like, I saw him coaching for them, but I thought it was a meme that 9K and Krusty coached for them. Did they actually bring as many coaches as Team France? So that's Nano Overclock that gets 1. Cheer forces the rally. Korea's kind of in a bad spot now. Oh, Lexa cannot die. Dude, that was a ballsy rally, but he gets it. Custa, you're hopping on the Monk top 4 Ana train because I think he might be as... All right, I think we need to... I want to see more from Monk before we do that. His recent performances on the Ana for the Hangzhou Spark in the playoffs and on Ana for Team China. Absolutely, I agree those are top level performances. But I'm not going to go putting him with the goats of Ana Mount Rushmore after half a season of gameplay. Like, because prior to that, Monk has been good, not exceptional. Like, I think Monk is definitely a top flex support in the league, but as I said, you're putting him on the goats.
If you're South Korea, you take a fight early, right? Give yourself another defensive fight before like a, you know, box of victory, so to speak.
Oh, Fearless is so low.
And now needs to be topped up by Fielder. They'll get him back into the fight though. It's gonna be another 10 meters gained there by the team from China.
You're okay with this if you're South Korea. Like just playing inside of this choke, there's no reason for you to kind of push the other side.
Oh, Monk's ready. He's so good. Sparkle there just has to airdrop that one, and it's no good. But elsewhere,
Then what more do you see from Monk? Mid-season madness, playoffs, World Cup. He's definitely a top 4 out of anything. There are many of players who have had world-class performances and like top performances for half of a season who have then fallen off to never be spoken about again. Do you remember when people were saying that Khan was one of the best flex supports in the world? You guys remember that? Khan was exceptional for that Paz Eternal team. But that, like, where is he now? Where is he now? People wanted to put him in the fucking on Mount Rushmore. People don't even talk about him anymore, right? Like, that's my point, right? You're putting Shu, Fielder, and Twilight. 2 of them are fucking champions, and one of them is the greatest to ever do it and has some of the best clips of all time, right? Like, over multiple seasons. And that's the point that I'm making about Monk, is prior to that half of a season where he's been exceptional, he's just been a good player, right? So I think you need to hold off before you start putting people on the GOAT list.
Oh, no, another one. Oh, Matt, that's huge. This bot is headed right back towards the center of the map.
We'll see. I mean, South Korea, it looks like they're now going to push the pace.
They didn't want to take any risks at first, but that pick from Lip really gives them an opportunity now to start to dig their heels in.
I also think that's a big frustration I have with the community, is everyone's just trying to make these GOAT lists and stuff like that. Can't people just be great players? It's okay to just be a great player. You don't have to be the very fucking best. It's a This was not a particularly close map. It felt like Korea had like firmly in control the whole time. Yeah, but it's fun. It is fun. It is fun. But alright, we move on. Custa's mad. Nobody ever said he was the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT. I'll be the first to admit. I'll put my hand up. I am not the GOAT.
You know, right across the fence. But nah, I mean, we know what both of these teams are going to do at this point. I don't think anybody's going to deviate from you know, this type of gameplay.
So not a huge surprise to see the Trace release out of the gates here, because obviously those flanking routes plus the tunnels for both attackers and defenders are pretty important territories to try and stake your claim to.
Goat Zender, I think that was the closest I ever felt like I was one of the best in the world, which is a fucking deep cut, but it was like the 2016 era of Zenyatta. Or early 2017. My Zenyatta was kind of filthy, but I think I was still worse than like Chipsogen and stuff like that. But I was feeling myself back then. And now I'm not. My Mercy was pretty good in the league as well.
In our first semi-final, the team from China and South Korea. Only one of these will get to advance for a shot at the goal.
Would you want to be on offense or defense here to start?
Probably want to start
Arc 6, they did go to Korea, and we did not.
Yeah, I think you want to be the team that kind of like sets the goal, right?
We still calling it Custa? Yeah, people still... it's still my legacy. I'm the GOAT of accidentally pressing alt. There you go. Boom. I'm the GOAT. Think about it. If you think about it and you're like, oh, who is known for accidentally fat fingering their ultimate? You think of me. So actually, I am the GOAT. Fuck you guys. Huh? I have my legacy. I am also the legacy of being the smartest player in the league. Okay? Boom. Done. I'm the GOAT. That's Izzyaki. That's actually a funny point. I think Izzyaki has done it more times in the league than I have. I think I can count like 3 times Izzyaki has fat fingered in the league. People just don't talk about it as much.
Yeah, and it's probably worth.
I taught Izzy. Yeah, I taught Izzy everything he knows.
They're both going to be coming off a really long here.
I like this from Shio. Early whip shot. Yep.
Izzyaki has a ring. Hey, I have the only ring that matters. The only ever stage 4 ring. Name another team who has a stage 4 ring.
stuck in the doorway, but that checkpoint's
Wobble,
already been
wobble,
achieved by South
motherfucker.
Korea.
Oh, and I'm married. Yeah, I have that ring as well. But
It's exactly what I was going to actually start talking about next.
a championship ring. Come on, get your head out of the gutter. Yo, Patrick, thank you for the 64 months. Didn't you already watch this? I did, but people wanted me to watch it again. I keep getting distracted talking about random shit. So if you're here for the hard-hitting analysis, I'm just talking shit.
You're challenging things. You're getting the nano. You're sliding into
Glad season 4 won stage 4. It wasn't called stage 4. Doesn't count. It was called something stupid like Summer Showdown or something.
confidence.
Not only was he winning the long-range game with that big pick on Shy to start this off, but he's more than happy to get in his face.
The June Journal. Yeah, it was called something wild.
Leave hunting for a pulse bomb candidate here. Chio has got to be it. That got dropped off. There were no
Oh, Lip gets late. Dude, you know, it's actually kind of crazy. You watch back this match, people like to blame Lip. Lip's had a good match. Like, I would love to see, if this was a stat, I would love to see first pick stats, because I think Lip would be, like, leading by a good margin. Who blame Lip? People have been like, Lip's washed and overrated. If they had this player, they would have been better. Straight up, people will say that. I've heard that. I've had to endure that in my chat. That's why I get so defensive about it. So many people blaming Sparkle. Yeah, but I think that one's also fair. I think Sparkle wasn't great in this tournament, unfortunately.
I mean, you use a nano and an overclock. Yeah.
People just like to blame Lip because other people like Lip. Yeah, I think because of the like Lip MVP candidacy, people like to point when he doesn't put on those performances. That's probably a good point. People love to hate.
Take that high ground.
Something tells me, Matt, this isn't just about making it to the grand finals anymore.
They're also playing against Shy Leave, yeah.
Teams are leaving it all out there.
Dude, Korea have no ultimates. They used everything in that last fight. So, like, how do you get in here? Like, China didn't use anything either, but they're the ones who have to get in. Wow, it's a good bubble to get his team across. It's actually kind of crazy when you look at it. Like, this bubble was absolutely intentionally placed. Oh no, did that just fall? Oh, that was, never mind, that was Gushui's bubble. I thought that was Fearless's bubble to let his team cross, but that was, he literally just threw it short because that was Gushui's bubble. Never mind. Fearless sucks. Oh, that's a great nade by Fielder. It's a hard nade to hit. That's a horizontal nade.
Ground gains from Fielder's connection there.
Yeah, you'll move the payload a little bit here too, right? Off of, you know, connecting on that big bio onto Monk and Linksa, but you would have loved those kills.
Slide out of the way there from Lip. He's got no interest in being stuck with the pole.
Oh, that's a great nade by Monk though. Woo! Jumps over the sleep. Easy for your boy Gushue. He's not going to primal for this either. He doesn't need to. Oh. 6 HP. No primal. Well, he also... I don't want to praise him too much because he absolutely botched the jump to get out of the room.
Towards that new double door, right? Comes from the side.
Nice to be able to walk through.
Yeah, gets that angle, able to take him out.
Another pulse bomb here for Sparkle. It's a nano for Monk though, and Fielder respectively that you...
This is kind of like Paradise all over again, where the defense has the high ground and your Korea has to walk through like a tiny choke.
in a position for this to happen. Another bio on Chio, and there's the follow-up.
Yeah, they really need to provide some level of support for them. Like, they literally are just getting rolled by these biotic grenades from Monk, like, over and over again. And they make you very telegraphed when they're walking out as well.
I mean, it's difficult, right? You can barely even get through this choke. I mean, now you have the nano plus primal, right? You can really invest into Fearless and just push these supports out. That's kind of what you're trying to do.
Chio trying to wait for a cooldown to be...
He's alive. And, like, I think Linksa unsung hero of this Chinese team as well. Linksa has actually been so good at covering people.
Across the way, Linksa gets knocked.
Feels looks pissed on the way out, getting the spin. Still dies. It's too much damage. Ooh! Ooh! Okay. Oh my god, he's nasty. Death Note!
Feel the need to pop the nano or the rally during that.
Shy just like me for real, bro. If you're just like Shy, you gotta start applying for things.
The other alive through a Fearless.
Shy's exactly the way I think I'm gonna play.
37 seconds left to play. South Korea barely halfway into the second phase of the match.
Alright, there we go. Lip gets another opening kill. This time gets Shy.
In the opening now to protect against the bio and leave can't find a pulse again.
Alright, those are two mistakes by China. No pulse bomb thing. They have the ultimates to be able to undo this at least. They just want to hold on to him. They're doing a really good job of holding on for as long as they can. Gushue ends up primaling. He's not going to get anything with this. If he can force the rally. They got Fearless. Dude, where's the nano? Where's the rally? Anything to... Okay, never mind. Lip clears. Lip clears.
The team for China again go to the back foot. Lex has lost his shield. He's in trouble. It's got to be a rally now to keep him in the fight.
Yeah, but you're going to get Fearless back in this fight. You have a rally here for Chio, so you have a lot for South Korea to stay in this.
That was kind of a fuck up. I don't know why Linksa didn't rally earlier. I think if Linksa rallies earlier in that room, they're in a good spot. Like, it's unlikely that, like, maybe Lip hits those shots as well, but the overhealth and stuff like that might change things. Or gets the nano. Oh, Monk has to jump out. Is he going to die for that? No. Everyone's out of ults. Oh, huge biotic grenade by Monk. Oh my god. Chio just does not die. He needs it. Dude, the backline of Korea plays so well here. China puts a lot of pressure on that. There was a lot of pressure coming out. So many players could have died multiple times. Like, Korea played that very slowly. Holy cow.
It is such a demoralizing loss, and right there they get Fearless at the start. Lip with that overclock goes huge, right? Gives them a chance to get that payload over the line, and they finally do it. The team from China, they went all out in that one. They got to be devastated.
They don't have the time to think about it though, Matt. They've got to pick themselves back up.
Chio the hero, my goat.
The last phase of the map. Chio knocked away there, shield bashing back towards Fielder, who's going to give the nano.
Oh, good dodge on the sleep again. It's the thing that makes, like, the best Winston's great, right? Is, like, their ability to just, like... It looked like he was going towards the Ana, and they just side strafes at the last second. Oh. Sparkle throws his pulse bomb in a lost fight there as well, which is kind of a bad call.
More fight from the team for China to be able to get a hold here. Nano rally probably available for China. What do? Do you nano Gushui here? South Korea, you're going to have the rally and the primal. It's actually pretty nice that Fearless saved this primal to extend this fight.
Lip will go for the overclock without the nano. Sparkle caught by Lee. Breaks Lee's able to get that health back up.
Why didn't Korea play Sigma to beat China like KSA Finland? Because Korea doesn't feel as confident playing the Sigma. And China's shown the ability to play the dive versus the Sigma. It's obviously still Sigma favored, but I think Korea, like, China's just so good at the dive that I think it doesn't matter. Oh, Gushui just gets blown up. Fearless gets Monk. Doesn't matter. Everyone else is too dead. My name the player thinks Fielder was uncharacteristically quiet. I think that's a fair assessment. Like, for the standard that we hold Fielder at, he definitely wasn't hitting as big a biotic grenades, more consistent sleeps. Like, he was hitting them, but he was good. I just don't. I see what you mean. He wasn't server defining. All good spot for the card to end. It's like, that's kind of just like a one fight win, and that's like very difficult to hold on the third point as well.
Huge for South Korea. I think it gives you a better idea of like how to use your ultimates in the second half of the game, right? Knowing kind of you have that backstop and you know how much time is on the clock and how many fights you're going to get here or there. So they put themselves in a position to potentially, I mean, this would be a squeak out a series win.
This series was so good, bro. Why can't we just agree to play dive 100% of the time? Like, I don't want to, like... The grand finals was such a good match. Well, actually, not the grand finals. The, like... The Sigma versus Sigma mirror, in my opinion, is just so uninteresting compared to the Winston dive. Because it's, like, defined by such, like, little things and, like, ultimates that it doesn't feel like there's a lot... Like, you're just kind of watching it happen, but it doesn't feel like there's as many, like, pop-off big moments.
Lap up another mini health pack and get going. So your win condition is established. The team from China.
Ryan Rush? I don't really like Ryan Rush either. I think it runs into the same issue as the Sigma Rush.
Get themselves a seat at the table in our grand finals.
Feel like goats to a degree. Nothing happens till one person makes a mild mistake or time dies. And like as soon as one player dies, it feels like it just ends. There's no like opportunity for people to like bring it back. Feels like very rarely. Yeah, and I think it just comes down to the fact it's like May Symmetra stuff. Anything other than mirror matches, yeah. Ooh, big nade. Oh my god. Like how do you deal with that if you're Sparkle? So with May, May just kind of like, yeah, she's just a snoozer. I agree. Snoozer is a good way to put it. Wow, they... Korea's doing a good job of staying alive, considering they're trying to stay in a fight that they have no right to stay in. They're getting herded into a corner. Big bio nade by Monk. Oh, they can't get Fielder or Fearless, but they have control. Like, this is so difficult for Korea to get out of this small room. Fortunately, they don't have nano. If China had nano boost, this would be over. If they get this nano boost, it's just over. Dude, Shy gets another kill on the Fearless. Chia rally's good, but it doesn't do anything. It's not going to help them win the fight. It's just going to keep them alive in it. And because they don't have Fearless, they have no pressure. Everything's pretty much on Lip or Sparkle's Pulse Bomb to get a kill. He gets Monk, but I don't think it matters. I think the damage is already done at this point. They're committing the nano boost as well. Korea's committing everything to win this fight. Fearless gets up to the primal. Lip... Oh, Lip ends up dying. I think if Lip stays on the high ground and gets pressure out and gets the overclock, they can win that because Fearless has the primal, but... That's a feels bad fight for Korea. Both supporters. Dude, I forgot about Stalker. Why did I forget about Stalker? I keep talking about like Pelican and stuff like that. Maybe if they had Stalker as well, Korea would have been really good. Lip Stalker? Like I keep saying like Pelican and Checkmate. Just like forgot Stalker existed and he was so good this year. Yeah, I like... You know, there are other players that could have been better, but like at the end of the day, you understand why Sparkle is on this lineup. You can't be upset. He has previous synergy with the Dallas squad. He's been good in these, somewhat of these metas in the past. He just came off the championship. Like, I don't have a problem with Sparkle being in this lineup, but he definitely didn't perform at the level he needed to. Great. Primal. Dude, Shy, dude, you know Fearless was pissed. When you, like, knock someone off and they don't die, you're like, what, huh? How did they not die? How did they not die? And Shy has some, like, BS slide after, like, stopping on the rock for some reason. Yeah, like, it was lucky map geometry as well. Because, like, a lot of the spoils that where he would have landed, he would have just slid straight off and he wouldn't have been able to get that momentum. But he landed somewhere where he just, like, stops. Stalker, Merit, someone field a cheer. I would still keep Lip in over Merit, and that is probably the dream team from Korea. In a perfect world, I'd actually have proper. I'd run proper Lip. But, you know. I'm a proper simp. I'm starting to realize I'm a proper simp compared to most. Like, everyone used to simp on proper a lot, but now I think it's just me. There's no way. 4.5 minutes. China's just kind of rolling. Oh, Shy gets Lip again, bro. Like, how many opening picks has Shy gotten in this? Oh, he dead. Dude, Leave doesn't even give a fuck what Sparkle's doing. He's like, bro, just go away. They're both just fighting for this position, but also don't want to just fight each other because it kind of feels like a waste of time. Oh my god! Oh, it just gets sent to the fucking nether realm. We watched that duel for so long. He forces the recall. And then he hits him. Oh my, disrespectful. Fearless has to go with the primal, but they don't have damage. Chio's rally's over. Yeah, he's dead. Lip's getting low. Not getting the heals. Matt and Mitch casted this game? Yeah. Matt and Mitch casted the two big ones. They got this game and they got the grand finals. They got some good ones, yeah. They deserve it after. The grand finals of the Overwatch League was actually just so boring. I think everyone after the first map of the Overwatch League grand finals was like, yeah, this is over. But that was a banger series. They went back and forth, toe-to-toe, individual pop-offs. You can't ask for better than that. China looking unstoppable. No way they lose to KSA. Yeah, with Korea and USA out of the pool, there's no way China don't win the entire thing. Pepe laugh. All right, that's going to be that one. Thank you very much for watching. I think this was one of the best Overwatch World Cup matches we've ever seen, especially in terms of like individual performance. Obviously, it's been a lot of years, but absolute banger. You love to see it. I might be doing the grand finals at some point as well. I'll see how I feel and how this video does. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for watching. We're going into the off season. I don't know what kind of content we're going to be making, but make sure to subscribe. I'm sure I'll put something up there. Maybe we'll do some history of Overwatch stuff. Let me know what you guys want me to do in the comments, and let me know what you guys thought of the World Cup. Love you all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.